Sup, this is my goals, update 1, revision 6. Just jump right into it, I guess with the Valkyries. All my Valkyries are the S rank I want them to be. Valkyrie Pledge is the recent triple S rank. Since some Memento, I'll just be leaving at double S. HI3rd Sentience is my next planned triple S. Starchasm Nyx, I'll just be leaving at S. I may get to double S after I get HI3rd Sentience to triple S. I recently got Shadow Dash to double S some time ago. The same thing with Haxor Bunny, the same thing with Valkyrie Triumph. I recently got Sukuna Rondo to double S. The same thing with Celestial Hymn. Starlit Astrologist I got to double S some time ago. I got Midnight Absinthe. Well, she's S rank. If I get the fragments for free, I will get her to double S. I've pretty much ignored Princess de Verdeling or Fiscal. And that's pretty much it for the Valkyries. In terms of the equipment, go to the weapons. All my weapons are equipped. There are no free or unused weapons. Also, too, I recently got the Judgment of Shamash to level 50. In testing to see if I can make this into a pre-arm, I got Oath of Judah to 50. And that's pretty much it for the weapons. Go to the Stigmata sets. I have no unused or free Stigmata set pieces. They're all equipped. The reason why you see some blue Stigmata pieces is because I needed to make rolls on the Lowen Hulk M because I wanted to use this on both Night Squire as well as Phoenix. So I had to make some rolls. And I needed affix re-roll material, so I ended up salvaging the Marco Polo Stigmata pieces I had, as well as the beginner basic Stigmata pieces. So I had to reforge them again. Fortunately, with the Marco Polo, I didn't upgrade it, so I didn't really lose too much. So I got those pieces back. I got the basic beginner Stigmata pieces back. The basic Stigmata pieces all have at least one SP gain per second between all three Stigmata pieces for each set. The Marco Polo pretty much has affixes I'm interested in. I just have to work on the bottom to get a roll on there other than activating skills costs less SP. The Marco Polo is all upgraded. I just got to upgrade the beginner basic Stigmata sets. And for Lowen Hulk M, I have rolls that can work for both Night Squire and Phoenix. So that's some Stigmata pieces. And that's pretty much it for this update where I am. HI3rd Sentience is the only reason I have left to spend crystals. So I'm just saving up my crystals so this way I could get her to triple S. So now what I'll do is just do a little bit of discussion. For that, I have to go to Memorial Arena. In Memorial Arena, I started doing some considerations recently as far as like trying to deal with these SS rank bosses. So I had to restructure my teams. Excuse me. So I started focusing on trying to make each team, let's say, damage type of team, each make them very strong and unique. So I'll make my lightning damage team as strong as it could be, my fire damage team as strong as it could be, my ice damage team as strong as it could be. And this is all relative to the strength of all the other teams. Like, what would it take to get my fire damage team to be putting out as close to as possible as damage as, let's say, my lightning damage team, which has Shadow Knight? And the same thing, how can I get my fire damage team putting out as close to as much damage as possible as the team that has my Starcusm Nyx? And then we come to the physical damage team, which is causing me to the most grief. How can I get all my elemental damage teams to put out as much or as close damage to as HI3rd Sentience, which is very unlikely. But in the effort to make all my teams the strongest, HI3rd Sentience is now using support characters that I was using once before with Night Squire, which is Night Moonbeam and Starlit Astrologus. The reason why that matters is because now that, since this has always been my strongest physical team, which I would need when I'm fighting Jizumatama, I still, how should I say this? With my elemental damage teams, there are three separate unique teams. And even if I'm fighting a Memorial Arena boss that doesn't, let's say, is a down elemental damage type, but they're still susceptible to elemental damage, I could pretty mix and match which elemental damage team I want to use to beat the arena boss. But with the physical, I have no other options. If they put 3 arena bosses that are susceptible to elemental damage, then I have 3 unique teams to deal with each of the bosses. But if they come up with 3 Memorial Arena bosses that all require physical damage to beat them, then I cannot use any of my elemental damage teams, which how that affects me is it takes teams off the board that I can use to beat all of the physical damage Memorial Arena bosses. And since I'm using characters that I was playing with Night Squire that allow me to beat certain Memorial Arena bosses with subpar gear on Night Squire, because I've restructured the teams, Night Squire is still left being Gimp now. So with that same subpar gear, using other characters such as Celestial Hymn and Valkyrie Blade Strike as her support, she's no longer be able to beat Memorial Arena bosses that I was originally, using her to tackle, which in this case is specifically Colin. So because of that, I'm now in a position to where after I salvaged all of the equipment that I was running on Night Squire, which was her signature weapon, Skull and Hottie, as well as the Upd.6 model set, Shoulder Japan, I salvaged those mainly for my own personal, let's say, preference of having a very clean inventory, of not having any weapons left unused, as well as the Sigmata pieces in order to help me forge the Anisoteric faster. I'm now in a position to where I'm trying to find a way to get her to be strong enough again in order to take out Colin without the help of Night Moonbeam and Starlit Astrologus. So that's the current dilemma that I'm facing as I restructured my teams for Memorial Arena SSS difficulty bosses. So I'm currently trying to figure that out. That's part of the reason why I forged Marco Polo again. It's just the best general purpose physical damage dealing schematic set available outside of like Dickens. And that matters because I need something strong enough to deal with the Memorial Arena bosses. I need something versatile enough that I could use on other heroes, whether they do combo damage or charge attack damage. And one is something I could quickly and easily forge or acquire. So that's where the Marco Polo comes in, because not only can I use it on Night Squire, I could use it on Night Moonbeam. And the reason why it matters on using on Night Moonbeam, even though I was using the same equipment on Night Moonbeam that I was using on HI3rd Sentience, the issue is that I still need HI3rd Sentience to be as strong as she currently is. And I still want to keep the buff gear on Starlit Astrologus. So Marco Polo allows me to put on equipment put equipment onto Night Moonbeam while keeping Star Astrologist in the gear that I'm accustomed with for her to be in, as well as keeping her shift senses in the equipment that I'm accustomed to be in. So this way, everyone is still as strong as they were, while still keeping Night Moonbeam powerful in her own Sigmata equipment. Also too, if I ever need to use a physical damage dealer that does charge attacks, such as Zumbu Rose, I can just put Marco Polo on her. Whereas before, with the Schroeder's Band that I had on Night Squire, the Schroeder's Band will only work on people who does combo attacks. Or it will only make people who do combo attacks really powerful. So all that comes back to Night Squire as to now trying to get her to be strong enough. So I'm currently debating on whether or not I want to try to go and reacquire her signature weapon again, which was Skull and Hadi. But I can't really make any decisions on that. Not until the 5.3 update comes, because in the 5.3 update, that's when Carol will become available in her sweet and spicy battle suit. I'm not sure if it'll be free to play acquirable or if it'll just be supply drop acquirable. But based on how that plays out, will determine will I have another character in my inventory that can use fist weapons. And if so, then I feel comfortable reacquiring Night Squire's weapon. So this way I can still have my inventory in the way that I desire it to be, with no weapons unequipped. Otherwise, I'm considering trying to acquire Azura Imperia, who will also too, I guess I can't see her since I'm in this screen, but I'm trying to decide if I want to acquire Azura Imperia, so this way I can have another person to put a fist weapon on, so this way there's no unused fist weapons in my inventory. But again, I have to wait for 5.3 to drop before I can make a decision as to what I will do. So that's where I'm at on in terms of my teams and Night Squire and her equipment. And that's pretty much it for this update. The only thing I can think of to do is to do a little bit of a discussion about some things. One of the things that's a pet peeve or bothering me is the fact that I guess what I don't like about these games, these mobile games, and in this case, Honkai HI3rd, is that for me, managing my inventory and keeping my inventory in a way that I like to play with it, like clean, efficient, nothing unused, it's very hard for me to keep it this way and play this game and beat bosses, because this whole game is geared towards trying to be #1 and rank high on leaderboards, and it's so, let's say, monetary driven, monetized, that the game doesn't care. It's just like, this is what you need to be #1. It doesn't matter how your inventory looks. It doesn't matter what stigmata pieces you have. It doesn't matter. You just need to get what it takes to be #1. How your inventory is managed is irrelevant. And it's like, it's a pet peeve, because it's like, if I could just salvage some of these things that I don't need to use, and so it can allow me to play the game or manage my inventory the way I like it while still playing, that would be something I would like. But you can't. It's like, you can't salvage any of these weapons. You can't salvage any of the pre-arms. You can't salvage any of the raid weapons. You just can't get rid of anything. You're just forced to hold on to it. So if you actually like to manage your inventory and keep it in a certain way, it's hard to do that while still being able to beat content. And the fact that the game is this way is just annoying. The other thing that I wanted to just discuss about is Sarcasm Nyx. You know, now that I have an ice damage dealer online, you know, I wanted to fill that void, preferably with a full art character, but there was no full art character available at that time, so I filled it with Sarcasm Nyx because she was a unique hero, she was a unique battle suit, she's quantum, so I could use her anywhere. She has some unique skills I believe in her ultimate, Sleepy Thorns. Whenever you cast them on with Collapse, it removes the soul links from enemies or disable their soul links. So I thought that was a unique ability. And so, you know, I decided to acquire her. I used my expansion supply tickets. I used crystals to try to get pieces of equipment or stigmata that I could either use, such as anti-strike piece, or salvage. But now that I've done that and got a pre-armor and all these things, I kind of wish or regret that I did it, because there's not a lot of places where I use her or even need ice damage. Sure, in the Universal Mirage, you know, I was able to clear the ice damage, but it's like, outside of that, where else do I use her? So far, and just like, you know, in the cycling content, I've only had to use her in one super string dimension boss once, and I only fought her maybe like once in Memorial Arena. The only other place where I use her is in the Elysian Realm, and sure, it's nice to be able to clear it, but the rewards that I gain, crystals and anything else, is not worth the crystals that I spent in order to build her equipment and the expansion supply cards that I used to acquire her. And now that HI3rd Sentence is going to be made available, I'll just pretty much be playing with HI3rd Sentence from here on. So I just kind of regret building this ice damage dealer, despite her uniqueness in content in the game. So right now, I'm just pretty much waiting for this 5.3 update to drop. I saw some information about the beta for 5.4. They are coming out with another ice damage dealer. It's not a Fuha character, so that kind of gives me a little bit of comfort about investing into Starcasm this, to let me know that, ooh man, I didn't like jump, like, you know, pull the trigger too hastily, and should have just waited, and then I could have built a Fuha ice damage dealer. At least there's comfort in knowing that that's not coming, or that's not what's coming down the line. They're coming out with another Bronya ice damage dealer. So that also too adds some comfort to say, well, if they're coming out with a Bronya ice damage dealer, since Sealy and Bronya are like best buds, wherever Sealy will do well, I mean, wherever Bronya does well, Sealy should do well as well. Or Sealy should do well also. So that's a little bit of a comfort. So again, waiting for 5.3 to drop. What becomes available there will determine what choices I will make. Will I try to reacquire Night Squire's signature weapon, because they'll be giving us another fist weapon user for free? Or will I not acquire Night Squire as a weapon again, because Kara will be supply drop only? Or will I try to see if I could get a Superior some kind of easy way without spending crystals? And if I can, then that will be another reason to try to get Night Squire's signature weapon again. Also too, in the elite works of the 5.3 of the BP Battle Pass, I'm going to try to get Zethir's Lament, which is Startled Astrologist's signature weapon, because I've just been holding on to my Crystallum. So because I've done that, I'm going to use that to get a signature weapon. And if possible, maybe I'll try to get Night Squire's signature weapon again, using whatever crystal I have left. But that's based on the other factors of whether or not I could get a Zero Imperior or Cowl for free without having to spend crystals. So in terms of those things in the future, I'm just really waiting for 5.3 to drop and to see what's available and to see what's there. And outside of that, that's pretty much it for this update. All right, you guys. Peace.